Hello and welcome to today's live stream. Hopefully you can hear me okay and that you don't hear background music, but if you could just let us know where you're joining from. Looks like we're getting a few more people on here. If you could, just let us know where you're from. We want to know where this live stream's getting out to. So just go ahead and put in the comments below whether you're on live.thepixelconnection.com, over on YouTube, or even Facebook. Please put a comment and let us know where you're joining us from. Hello, Joey from Rochester. Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope everything's going well up there. Can't wait to get back to Rochester. Love that town. Hope you are doing very well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. Jim Summers, welcome back, my friend. The state of denial. He is in denial. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. Karna from Canton, Michigan is back. I actually spent a little bit of time up in Canton, Michigan over the last couple years as I was a tech rep for Panasonic. I went very well. Hello, Jason, joining us from Willoughby, Ohio. Hope you're doing well, enjoying this awesome, weird weather that we've been having. Welcome, welcome. Honestly, when I picked out this countdown timer, I didn't realize that it was going to be the reality that I walked out of my house to this morning when I went for my run. What is up with all this weird weather? Eeyore giving me either the hand, like talk to the hand, or a high five. Hopefully not a high five because we have to practice social distancing, so I don't know what that is. Weird weather. Dude, it's so high. I know, but I thought we were through it. I thought we were past it. I thought we were positive with spring. That's what I get. That's what I get. I gotta ask, for anybody who has joined us in the past, how does this mic sound? Does it sound A-okay? I upgraded to the pod mic, and I'm going through my Rodecaster now. So I want to know, does it sound good, bad, and different? Les is joining us from Beechwood. Welcome, Les. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Joey asks, how are you on YouTube and Facebook Live? I'm actually going to 4 different streams right now, and we can talk offline on the different tools and stuff that I use to do that. I'm actually doing a live stream course coming up if you head over to our Eventbrite page, where I go in depth about like our setup and everything. But just shoot me a DM. I'll be able to help you out with that. Facebook user, Mr. Anonymous, says, always chance of snow at Easter. I know, I remember a few of those. The microphone sounds all right. I hope it sounds better. I hope that I'm not making these these upgrades for nothing. I might have to go back to my other one. I'm just messing with you. So our countdown is done. We have a thank you for your video. Sounds great from Amherst, Ohio. Hello from Amherst. So let's get this thing kicked off. So how is everybody doing today? We doing good? We doing excellent? We doing well? Hopefully everybody's doing well. So today we were supposed to have Miguel come on, but he had some stuff that came up, which is no big deal. He was volunteering his time to share knowledge with you. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring back our speaker from yesterday because we had a lot of questions that came in after the stream about lighting. So I reached out to Jeff and I was like, hey man, do you mind doing this? And he's like, absolutely. So we're going to be talking about on-camera flash today, or these little tiny guys here. And I'm going to share, I have all of my stuff kind of that I use for off-camera flash. And check this out. I even did like a really cool like top-down view so you guys could see like all the different like tools and like see like the back. Like I'm going all out for you guys. I'm doing my best for you guys. So I did want to go over a few housekeeping notes though before we get started. So let me jump over to our slides. So we are open at the store. So if you need absolutely anything, please feel free to reach out. We are open every day but Sunday from 1 to 5. We are deemed an essential business in the state of Ohio. So we're not doing anything, wrong or illegal by staying open. We are here to serve you guys. So if you need anything, if we talk about something that you want to know if we have in stock or you've been meaning to pick something up, please let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. Also, we will be monitoring the chat. So if you do have questions, you can type those in the chat. And then what I can do is if you're just joining us, I can actually bring it up on screen. So like Scott, he is joining us from Ontario, Canada on YouTube. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. So I can bring those questions up and we can handle those questions live. So I do urge you to ask your questions. Also, our goal is to do this every day at noon. So if you do have, a topic that we haven't covered yet, and you want to see it covered, just shoot us a message, whether that's through our Facebook page or whether that's through, if you know me directly or somebody at the store directly, please let us know. We're here to do these for you guys, and we want to make sure that we are meeting your needs. So moving on, I wanted to let you guys know about the PPA, though. So the Professional Photographers of America, they've been doing this for a long time, this online content thing, kind of like what we're doing here. But what they're doing is they're opening it up for all photographers. So if you're not a member of the PPA, you can still access all of that material for free. That's kind of their way of helping kind of through this pandemic, through this crisis. They're opening it up, and there's business stuff in there. There is off-camera flash stuff. You can go behind the scenes of like a wedding day type of thing. So I've used this information. It's the PhotoVision stuff. So if you're familiar with PhotoVision, it was a company that was pre-YouTube, pre all these streaming services. What they would do is they would put out DVDs, and then it became a streaming service, but then PPA bought all that content. So all that content lives behind a paywall normally, but they're opening it up for you guys for free, no cost. So check it out, especially if you want to learn something new. So I want to go over our goals for today, and people that join us every day, you hear me talk about this, but it's because I am passionate about this first one. My goal is to pull you away from the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is going on and remind you that you do have this awesome thing called a hobby, and this hobby is photography, and it's something that brings so many of us so much joy. And it's frustrating at times, I get it, but we can do things and we can work together in order to get our minds out off of what's going on, even if it is for just about an hour every day at lunch. And then also my goal is to provide you a place where you can get outside of your comfort zone. I want you to try something new. If you've never taken your flash and then got it off the camera, then this is perfect for you. This is going to open up so many possibilities. Or let's say you want to know like different techniques on how to use this on camera a little bit better and how to shape the light that comes out of this flash, then that's a good thing. The magic happens when you get outside of your comfort zone. And that's really what I'm pushing for. And the third one, finally, is I want to show you something that could become a future profit center for you. So let's say you've never done, off-camera flash or, some on-camera flash like we're talking about. The goal today is to teach you skills that could turn into something larger or something that is, makes you money in the future. So, from maybe real estate photography, maybe you've never got into that, or headshots, or, the possibilities are endless on what you can do with the information that we are sharing. Another thing, if you need anything, just feel free to reach out, whether we have resources in the presentation or you just have questions. You can always reach out to social@thepixelconnection.com, and I'll make sure that I hook you up with whatever you need. we are doing a giveaway, and we're coming up to the end of this giveaway. So we are doing a $50 gift card, and all you have to do is post a photo on social media and tag us with the hashtag Pixel Connection and hashtag My World. My World is the theme this week. So what is your world? You know, it could be a person. So I could post a picture of my beautiful wife because she is my world. I could share a picture of our of our puppy, and because he is my world, or them together because it wholly encompasses my world. Or it can be a photo from your point of view. So like I could take a picture of this right now because this is my world. Every day I do this at noon. So this has become my world. So what is your world? We want to see the stuff that you're creating. This is also our way to say, here's $50. If that's what it takes to push you to be creating right now and putting stuff on social, then that is worth every single penny. And we will announce our winner on the live stream tomorrow. So I'll pick that around 11:30. So you have up until about 11:30 tomorrow to get your name in the hat for that. Again, it's just as simple as posting the My World hashtag and the hashtag Pixel Connection. And then if you can help us out, just tag us in it too. Like if you click the photo, you can do @Pixel Connection. It just makes it easier for us to find all of the entries. So if we're going to actually jump into, if you do need slides from today or content, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. But I think right now what I'd like to do is bring in our guest. Let me make sure he's unmuted here. Let's bring him in from the studio down in just outside of Nashville, right, Jeff?
Yeah, we're in Franklin, Tennessee.
Very nice.
It's about 30 minutes south.
Excellent. So
yeah,
this is Jeff Carpenter. If you weren't here yesterday, we met Jeff and his lovely assistant and wife. And where are the puppies?
They're outside. It's super nice out today. It's like 68 and sunny. So they're enjoying that.
Nice. Yeah, we had hail. Yeah. Ashley and I went for our run this morning, and on the way back, it just like was pelting our faces. Like it hurt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had real bad storms here last night, but we didn't nothing. I mean, I woke up a couple times, but nothing crazy. So
nice. And if you do want to follow along with Jeff, I'm actually going to jump over to. I love just how much content you pull out. So let me pull up just really quick. If you go to Instagram and you type in Ready Light Media, I want to show you kind of what you are in for today. So I do apologize for not having this ready to roll, but I want you to see the caliber of what Jeff puts out there, what he shares with the world. So we'll throw this up on the screen. So these are some of the photos. So you can see he has just a measly 110,000. Like he's a nobody, obviously. But he puts so much effort and work into doing behind the scenes. So like here's a photo. And then we'll kind of go through and we see, all these different photos that he is sharing. But then what he does is he'll actually create some BTS. So you can see behind the scenes of how things are done. So you can see here, look, he created a video. Like, check this out. It's like this 3D model that shows exactly what he's doing, how he's doing it. Like he's not showing off. Like, look at his work. He could obviously just sit here and show off all day long because you can tell he is super, super talented. But he goes the extra mile and he puts the time in to explain how he does these things. So if you just click on these stories here, he has some stories in here that have, some of the BTS as well. So if you're looking for ideas, you're looking for inspiration on lighting, then look no further. To be honest, like this is definitely a place where you can learn a ton of content. So so what are we talking about today? Let's jump into it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think I need to bring you around with me everywhere. You're a very good pitch man.
I'm the hype guy.
So today we're doing something a little different, and even different for me. And this is kind of to help bridge the gap between, maybe natural light, on-camera flash to eventually off-camera flash. So today we're actually talking about these guys here, the speed lights. And we're actually going to keep it on the camera, but I'm going to show you some different ways that you can shape the light using just the environment around you, or we've got some toys we can help bounce some light off as well. But really, the point is, as photographers, we want to be able to shape the light, and obviously, like natural reaction when you have an on-camera flash might just be point it directly at your subject. We'll show you what that looks like. And then we'll show you what it's going to look like, literally just kind of moving it to the side and bouncing it off a reflective surface to really help shape the light and create a much more dynamic portrait.
And then I also want to jump into and just share kind of I have my lighting kit kind of spread out. So I can talk about some of the shapers that I use as well. I don't have the luxury of being able to do a live camera shoot. So we'll actually start off over in your corner, go through some live shooting, but then I do want to talk about some of the tools that I use, but that'll be at the end. We'll talk about that at the end.
For sure. So first things first, we've got, you know, I've got this cyc wall here, but you might not have that. So really any white wall or even really kind of neutral color wall, a gray wall would technically work as well. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of use this side of it as the background, and eventually we're gonna bounce off of this side. And let me go ahead and flip my camera over. How did that happen? That's not what I wanted to do. All right, I need to click here. That way we can see a better angle. There it was. All right, perfect. So this will hopefully give you an idea of how close I am to the wall when I eventually start bouncing it. So what I'm going to do first, though, is I'm going to just point the flash directly. I've got it just on camera directly at her. And that's going to create a really hard light source. You can see this right here. It is a very small light source. So basically, small light means hard light, big light means soft light. So I'll show you how you can create a big light source just with this, just by moving it over to the side a little bit. So first thing is we're going to go ahead and just point this directly at her. Right. And it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very hard. It's very harsh. You start to get a lot of the shine on her forehead and her cheeks. So it might not be as flattering as you might want. So all you literally have to do in order to change that and really shape the light is just move this off to the side. So literally I'm just taking it from pointing directly at her, and I'm just going to move it. The cool thing about these speed lights too is they're able to adjust and move. So you can move them completely behind you. You can move them up and down. And depending on the angle of your camera, that's where you're going to be able to move it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from where it was directed point straight at her, and I'm going to move it off to the side. And I'm going to use this wall right here and basically create a giant softbox. So what I'm also going to have to do here, I had it at 1/16th power on this speed light. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to increase the power because now it's traveling a further distance and it's going to have to bounce off this wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and probably bump it up to about full power. And all it's going to do is it's going to come out of my camera. It's going to bounce off this wall. And instead of creating a light that was, you know, this big, it's going to create a light that is this big and directional. That's what's going to really help shape the light, is making it directional. So now all I did was move this from here to here, and you have a much more dynamic portrait that has a lot of direction that you can, it's almost starting to look like something with studio strobes. So again, let me go ahead and bump it back to the on camera. So we'll take that shot. And then we'll bounce it and we'll turn the power up because, again, the light's now traveling a further distance. So we have to bump the power up. And now if we go back and forth in A/B between these two, you'll be able to see a huge difference. So the one on the left is the direct on camera, and the one on the right is bounced off the wall and as basically creating a giant softbox. You can even look and tell just like the shadow underneath her chin here. Let's see here. So if we see this shadow under the chin, it's a lot more defined. It's a really like crisp line, whereas here, it's also a different angle. So we've got a nicer lighting pattern over to the side here. And I don't know if you can tell from the live stream, but the color temperature is slightly different. I kept my white balance exactly the same, but the difference with that is that when you bounce it off something, this might not be true white. So when you're bouncing it off a different wall or any sort of surface, that's basically going to create a slight color shift. So the one on the left is direct out of the flash, and then the one on the right is bounced off the wall. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually stay over here. So you might not have a wall around you, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in kind of a wall that I can create myself. And that's just this V flat. This one is from V Flat World. It's cool because you can bring it with you. It's nice and portable. So instead of having it the way I had it before, I'm going to actually turn the light and have it coming from this side rather than this side. So.
And I did want to point out too, if this is something that we've been thinking about bringing in at Pixel Connection. So if this is something that you would want us to carry the V flats from V Flat World, then let us know, because it's one of those things there. It's a very large item, and we have no problem bringing them in. But for us to store them, we want to make sure that demand is there, and we want to I have one that I use. I know friends do. Jeff uses them all the time. So if this is something that you're one of our customers and that you would use, then please let us know. We want to make sure that there's that amount of demand before we bring these in. So just a little point there.
Yeah. All right. So again, instead of having the light facing this way or directly at her, I'm now facing it this way because I'm going to use this white surface. So basically a V-flat, all it is it's white on one side, it's black on the other. You can use it in a bunch of different ways, but we won't get into that right now. So I'm just going to basically use this in the same manner I use this wall. I'm going to bounce it off this, and that's going to change the direction of the light coming from camera right rather than camera left. Did that not flash? It did not. It was in sleep mode. So that's what it looks like when you don't have the flash on. So one thing to keep in mind when you're using either a reflector or a V-flat or something like that is if I'm standing back here, this light's just going to hit and then skirt right past this V-flat. So you have to kind of be mindful of where you are in order to make sure that your light is then bouncing off of the reflective surface. All right, so one thing you're going to notice with this shot, we'll compare it to the one that was the, where is it? All right, we'll compare it to this one, which was, so the one on the left was the wall here. The one on the right is the V-flat. And one thing you're going to notice is that the shadows on the right side of her face on the V-flat picture are a lot less noticeable. So, and the reason for that is because the light bounced here, it bounced here, and then it's filling in the shadows on both sides. So you have a lot more of an evenly lit portrait if you have, so you can use this to an advantage if you even do have a wall. So you can bounce it off here, bounce it off the wall, or vice versa, and that's going to fill in the shadows a lot more if you want that look. So that's just one other way that you can do on-camera flash. I can have a couple other ways to do it as well, TJ, if you want me to jump into that now. But if you want to kind of talk about your kit first, I can set that up.
Perfect. So I will jump in and talk just a little bit about the kit that I use. So let me jump over to this camera. So first and foremost, I use the Phottix Juno flashes. So these are a relatively inexpensive flash. They're manual because I dial my stuff in a lot. We carry several different brands though. So we carry both this as well as Godox as well as Profoto. So we have a lot of options. I just have these for a long time. And they've been kind of good, tried and true for me. What I like about them is they do run on AA's. So being a wedding shooter, I like that in emergency, I can flip these out and have a gas, just stop at the gas station. Whereas other lights that have the lithium ion, I have to bring, like, to feel comfortable, I would either have to buy extras or have a charger there with me. So I at least have one of these type of flashes in my kit that have AA batteries. So, and then what I use for my modifiers is MagMod. So if you haven't seen MagMod before, it's these little rubber, I mean, it's hard to explain what they are, but they're rubber and then they have magnets in them. So what you do is you put them around your flash just like this, and they are very tight, I promise you. So these go on here just like so. And then what you can do is you can take all the different modifiers, the MagMod modifiers that they have, and they go right on, and they're super, super, super like sticky. The magnets are super strong. And actually, one of my older ones, one of my older MagMods, these are the size of the magnets that come in there. I'll set that down. But look how powerful these magnets are. Like, they're pretty far apart, and like it's being affected by just being out. So they are super, super, super strong. So that's kind of the kit that I use. I have 4 of these flashes. And then just a little tip, what I do is on all of my flashes, I take and I put gaffer's tape and I put a letter on it. So a lot of times what that'll be is the group that I set it to, kind of as a basic setup. But all the accessories that come with it also have that. So that way D always goes in D. So at the end of the night, when I'm packing up, I know I have everything. And then I also wanted to call out the fact that most of the time, almost all flashes have one of these little things in them. It's this little, there's a little cold shoe here, but then on the bottom, it has this little place to thread. So it's trying to do face detect, so not a face here, but this little thing will allow you to put this on your, on a light stand. So this is what'll actually hold your flash. We'll put that right on there. So that would be the top of my light stand. So pop that in there. We'll tighten that up. So now this flash can actually pop right in there. And now we have a relatively inexpensive setup to get this flash off camera. So now it's on a light stand and I can put that flash wherever I want it. So with these flashes comes a way to trigger them as well. So these are the Phottix Triggers that I use. So what's cool about this system is, like, if I just wanted to use these lights, I just have to put this trigger on my camera, and then I can, shoot with these lights. But let's say I want to use something a little bit more powerful. Maybe I want to go to having a strobe, but I want to mix in some flash. That's where this other one comes in. I can then just plug this in to that strobe and then trigger a more powerful light. So I really like the Phottix system. Again, I've had it for a very long time, so that's why I've kind of stuck with it. But Godox is great, Profoto, a lot of the ones that are out there, I mean, the quality is definitely there. So what's cool too is these are grids that go on the MagMod as well. So what you can do is you can just snap this on, and then it's going to give you more control of that light. If you remember yesterday, we talked about kind of the grid and how it helps focus that light onto just what you want to illuminate. That's what these are going to do. So, and what's cool about these too is they stack. So like, let's say that's not enough of the narrowing for you, then you can actually pop these on there and get even more of a focused light. Moving on from there, yesterday we talked about gels. So Jeff talked about adding that gel, that little pop in there. So MagMod has a similar thing. And what's great about these gels is they're a hard, like a plexiglass. So, you're not going to have to go through them like a traditional paper gel set, or I don't even know what they're made out of, like a plastic gel set. These are kind of hard and they're the perfect size. So it's easy to have them in your bag. And they actually come with this little pouch. So you can actually hold all of your different mag gels, and they say what color they are on the bottom. So like, this is a half blue, it says. And then we have, this is MagMod teal. So they all say exactly what they are. But instead of having to deal with, cutting out like the big gel sheet down to the smaller gel sheet, and then using a rubber band to hold it on or a gaffer's tape, this just makes it a lot easier. It's just a smooth system. And then I just got a backup gel holder. So if I want to do like a 2-color look, I can do that as well. So some of the mag, I don't have a ton of the mag modifiers. I just have kind of the ones that I use all the time. So snoot. So this is going to give me even more control over where that light goes. So, and as I bring this down, it helps, like if I want it, super focused. So it's going to take all the light from your flash. It's going to come in here, and then it's going to spit it out here. It's a snoot. So it's going to bring it and focus it. So if I just wanted to put light, on the models, just on the eye, or just back it up a little bit and just on the face, I can then do this. So again, this helps focus that light even more. And then I have the, mine's super early because I got this stuff right when it came out. So that's why it looks kind of not clear. But this is a mag sphere. So this is going to be, so that light look where Jeff had bounced that light, this is going to give you kind of a similar diffused look. So this is probably the one that I use most of the time. It's great, even if it's on camera, because I can just have it right here and it just gives us good diffusion. And like I said, all of these different modifiers, they all stack. So I don't know when I would need to do something like this where I have all these gels and stuff on there, but you could see they do stack really well. These are the two that I stack probably most often, is just to focus the light and then diffuse it. So they do also have the mag box, which is something that came out, I want to say like a year ago. But they actually, we put it on sale. I'll bring it up on our website. But you can actually get the whole box. It's like you put 2 flashes in it and this really small, lightweight soft boxes, and all the magnet stuff works with it. But I'll put a link to that in the description, because now, I mean, the price came down. So now I'm actually thinking about picking one up. So, I mean, it's cheaper than what we as employees even get it for. So I'm going to pick it up. So the other thing that I've used for a really long time are the Rogue Flashbender stuff. So I just throw these in my bag. Just if I need, let's say I need like 2 blues or 2 of something. These are small, they're lighting filters, and then they just go around your flash. Let me grab a new flash to kind of show you. So basically these just go like this. And then what you can do is you just put a rubber band around there. So simple, lightweight, small. And I mean, they don't take up much room, and there's even diffusion too. So if you want to throw a little bit of diffusion on there, this is heavy frost, you can do that as well. So the one thing I would caution you about these, so it's kind of hard to see, maybe this camera angle will be a little bit better, but you see how they're kind of crinkly? Again, all my cameras are set to face detector lock on me, but they're kind of crinkly because if you get it too close to that flash, that's a lot of heat. I've actually made the mistake of like grabbing a flash right after, and it actually kind of burns. So it'll actually, if you get it too close, it'll make that happen. And even the mag mods do that as well. I'm looking all around for my mag gels, but if you look at the mag gels, they kind of do that in the middle as well. See how there's like that little speck right there. So you want to make sure that, full power is not really going to be the best, like repeated full power. It's just going to damage that gear. So this is what I take to most weddings. I do take constant lights as well. So I'll take, little guys like this. This is a Lumi Cube, just if I want to do like some ring shots. And then it's actually on the camera above. So that way, I have some light shining down. But it's I'll just pull it off. It's actually this little spotlight from iCan, and it has these, it's rechargeable via USB, but it has these little barn doors on it, so I can kind of focus that light. But it also has a gel that goes on top of it to match color. So this is always in my bag because it can be used for on camera, or again, I can just use it to illuminate smaller details. So that's what I have. The only thing that I really didn't talk about would be getting a good umbrella holder. So I've had these, again, these are forever. So when you buy gear, the important thing is to buy it right the first time. So like I probably had these for 7 or 8 years, but they give me a lot of rotation. So if I want to put that light anywhere, I can. If I want to pop this out and put just a regular spigot in there for a strobe, I can. It has a place for the umbrella, which you could do so much with just an umbrella. So these are the ones that I've used forever. This, and then also the Phottix has one that's also super similar, and I have one of those as well. So that's kind of my kit. So hopefully that gave you enough time to jump in. If there's any questions about anything that I talked about, please feel free to throw it in the comments. I'll be watching that. But let's actually get back over to the studio. Back to you.
All right, so we switched spots a little bit. And I want to chime in a little bit about the Magmod stuff. I used to shoot Magmod all the time when I shot mostly speedlights. But another thing with the gels is you can use just these normal gel sheets if you don't have the Magmod things, and literally just take the normal thing and just it magnets to itself. I know you can't like really tell what I'm talking about right now, but instead you can use any gel with the magnet in combination to modify your Magmod stuff, which is really
that's actually a really good point. I'll go ahead and show that because I actually happen to have a gel sheet here. So what he's talking about is, so we have our gel sheet. I can put it on top of the Magmod and then use anything in order to, hold that on there. This is like a reversed one, but it'll actually hold that on there. That's one thing too. The magnets are, if they do pop out, you have to make sure you put them in the right way, which is not what I have here. But it is holding that in there to be able to use any bigger gel sheet. So this is much less expensive than the Magmod gels. So if you already have this, then it's a great tip and to use that.
Yeah.
So we had a couple comments. Rogue and Magmod was my go-to. Absolutely. Love Magmod. So it looks like we have some big Magmod fans here. Looks very versatile. It is. It's super, super versatile. And hello, by the way. I didn't realize you made it here. Hello, Tech Gear Talk. Hope you're doing well. So let's get back over to your studio and let's look at some more cool lighting stuff.
Yeah, and also Magmod has a really amazing Facebook community. So if you want to join that and see what you can make with that, there's a ton of amazing content that's put up daily with that. So, but let's jump in. So we moved around a little bit. I've got the luxury of having a nice big glass door that I installed a couple years ago. And obviously I put up this is Savage Universal Translume. It's literally just sheets of, this is the medium one. I think it's a one-stop diffusion. Either way, you can get different variations of it. So this is just the one that's kind of the middle of the road, the kind of the more common one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a backlit with natural light, and we're going to balance in the strobe bounced off this V flat again. So let's switch you over here. So what I'm doing, it's the same concept, but what I want to do is my camera is currently, or my flash is currently in sleep mode, which I'm going to leave it that way because I want to get my exposure without the just the ambient light. So, and I haven't changed. I'm still at my my settings before were I think make sure they're the same. Yeah, f4.5, 200 a second at ISO 100. So if I take that shot, we're not going to get a ton of that wraparound that I want from the natural light. So we're going to go ahead and take this shot. It's exposing a little bit, but it's very backlit. Looks like a silhouette. So we don't really want that. I want to really get a ton of ambient light coming through that window. And there's a couple ways you can do that. I can, this is an 2470 2.8. So I can go down to f2.8 on my aperture. And I could also, we're going to do that. So we'll go to f2.8. Another couple things we can do to elevate the ambient exposure is to either decrease your shutter speed or make it slower, or we can up our ISO. So I want to up my ISO because if you go down too much on your shutter speed, then you'll start to introduce camera blur, which we don't want. A lot of newer cameras do have the internal stabilization, but you don't want to rely on that. And it's not common with, I don't think any DSLRs have it actually. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to up our ISO. Yesterday I mentioned you can go up to like ISO 1600 and still get some good ISO performance. So we're going to go ahead and up the ISO. We'll just go to 1600. So again, I still have my flash off, and I just want to bring in the, all right, so we're starting to get I think that's zoomed in for some reason. What in the world? I'm double clicking and nothing's happening. There we go. All right. Maybe you have to triple click or something like that. So we've got the ambient light is wrapping around. That's kind of what I want. I want this more ethereal look for this shot. But her face, although it's exposed, is a little bit underexposed still. So I'm going to bring this light back in. And from where we had it over there, we're at full power. I'm just going to go ahead and bump it down to the lowest power, because I know when you elevate your ISO, that's also going to elevate your flash exposure too. So if I do, so like I said before, you can move these all around. So if I'm shooting vertical and I want it to angle this way, I just put it so it's kind of like this. So that just kind of fills in a little bit of flash on our face. This is really more of a fill flash. And if we want to change the angle of the light a little bit, what I can do is just move this V flat a little bit. So let's say we want a little bit more of a flat light. So just almost a direct fill. So I kind of made it more of just like a little V here. And I'm going to try and bounce the light directly back. The only issue that we're going to run into with this is if I point it directly back, it's just going to bounce off me. So let's just see what happens when we do that. It's probably going to be all red because I'm wearing a red shirt. So let's just pick a, and it's also really bright and in my face. So it's overly bright, so let's bring it down even further. But you can already start to see kind of a pinkish hue, and that's basically just because it's bouncing off my shirt. So again, you have to be kind of mindful of that when you're bouncing light. Is if you're bouncing directly back and you're wearing a colored shirt, you're going to get a little bit of a hue. So I'm going to angle it a little bit to the side here, so it's just bouncing into this corner here. So another thing I can do is I can kind of put myself behind the V flat where I'm my arms kind of in front. So it's the flash is hitting here, but I'm not going to be affected by that at all. And that is overexposed. But it's a little overexposed, and let me explain that, because I put the flash closer to this bounce source. So if I had it back here, it's traveling further. Again, I didn't change the exposure on my camera at all, on the flash at all. Basically, if you go and take one step back for me, the further away I move from this, though, the lower and lower the power technically on the flash will get. So if I want to keep that framing I had in the original thing, though, I just have to bring the power down. And now we've got a properly exposed image. And I want to do one more thing. So another thing that's probably coming in with this shot is we've got ambient light from this window here too. So let me, whoops. Oh, never mind. My camera up there died. So we're going to have to just run with this one. So I've got a window right here from another door. So I'm just going to cover that up with, just so that's not affecting the exposure at all. I've just got some foam core in the corner here. So you can already see, like here's the light coming in. When I move it over, now it's darker. You don't have that ambient light affecting the image. So we'll go ahead and so now we have a little bit more of a dynamic shot, whereas before we had a lot of light coming in on the side here, as opposed to this one where it's a little bit darker. So now we're really just getting affected by the backlight here and also this V flat. So I want to do one more thing, and then TJ, I'll let you kind of take it away. But I want to just put this right here. So we're going to kind of do the similar shot we had before, but by moving this V flat a little bit closer to the wall or to the door, or the window there, it's going to get a little bit of reflection from here. Let me back it around. So basically it's going to, the light from the window is going to hit here, bounce on that, and then I'm going to bring this back a little bit so I can have the exposure from the, so we're going to go here. We're going to go vertical or horizontal for this one. All right, so one more thing. I want to bring this back to, let's actually just use, now we've got this, I'm going to bring my ISO back down because I want to show you the correlation between aperture and flash power, and I don't want the ambient light to really confuse anyone. So I'm going to bring my ISO back down to 100. And let me put this down real quick. Got to move this one more time. And just for this demonstration, I'm going to bring this gray backdrop down so we don't have any of the ambient light. So this is going to be a similar shot to the original one we had on that wall over there. But let's say I've got my, I'm just going to put my, I'm going to start at f7.1 on my camera, still 200th of a second, ISO 100, and I'm going to start at quarter power on the flash. And I want to show you how you can adjust the flash power without actually adjusting the power on the flash, but rather adjusting your aperture. So it's super dark, right? So I'm at f7.1. So if I want more light to come into this scene, rather than changing the power on the flash by pushing this button back here, using a trigger or something like that, all you have to do is open up the aperture on your camera and basically think of the iris of your eye. When it's closed down, it's not letting a lot of light in. When it's open, or the pupil rather, when it's open, it's letting a lot more light in. So the lower the number on your aperture, the more light's going to be allowed in. So I'm going to go down to 2.8 again. I didn't change the flash power at all. And now we've got a more exposed image. It was also a little bit more direct, so I want to bounce this so it's not such a harsh.
And I want to point out too, so flash is controlled by the f-stop, and then ambient would be controlled by the shutter speed. So if he would have changed his shutter speed there, more ambient would have come in.
Right, exactly. So I mean, when you adjust your aperture, that technically adjusts ambient light as well. Just because it's letting more light as a whole. But if you adjust your shutter speed, that's not going to adjust flash at all. But basically, to my point is I can just, instead of, like, this comes in really handy if you're shooting events, for instance. So if you're shooting an event and you take a picture of a group, and let's say, so these come with a handy little flash thing there. So let's say we're taking a picture of a group, and I'm like, all right, smile, 1, 2, 3. And I don't like the exposure. Let's say it's a little bit too bright. I was at f3.2 or 2.8. I was at f3.2. So I want to bring it down. So I'm going to go to like f4.5. This is a much quicker way to kind of on the fly adjust the exposure. Let's say you're shooting a wedding and you want to do that. Rather than like looking like you're fumbling with the back of your camera, you can pick, oh, let's do one more. And then you just kind of do a couple clicks on your aperture wheel. And then you know, that one's fine. But I just close the aperture down a little bit more. You can adjust the flash power just by adjusting the aperture, which is, like I said, comes in really handy if you're shooting events or something like that, and you want to quickly adjust the exposure without looking like you're just fumbling with your flash. And that's all I have.
Excellent.
So let's run through. Can I run through real quick just so we can kind of put some stuff that we can show, like what you can get with on-camera flash? Yeah. Just like go back through these. For sure. So this was one here. This was one here. So these two are probably my favorite. And these were, one was just bouncing into a wall, and the other one was bounced into the V-flat with filling in some of the shadows with the wall. So this is, again, like this one on the right here, I think is a really, really professional looking shot that you could almost use as a headshot. And again, I didn't have any gear. It's kind of nice not having a bunch of light stands and stuff to trip over. So just having the on-camera flashes is super handy. So again, it's just a way you can take minimal gear and shape the light and really allow yourself complete control. You know, again, with just an on-camera flash, and that's a cheap Yongnuo. I think it costs like $40, something like that. So it's not a $300 speed light by any means.
Absolutely, good deal. What questions do we have, guys? Any questions? Doesn't sound like I hear some crickets chirping, so I don't know that we have any questions. So if you do need absolutely anything, please let me know. I will get the information that you need. But also, if you are looking for more education, we are doing our annual conference August 14th, 15th, and 16th, and you might recognize a familiar face. Jeff's actually going to be coming up, hanging out with us, and getting more hands-on. So if you struggle with off-camera flash, off-camera lighting, just lighting in general, or you just want to spice up what you're doing now, then definitely check out PhotoFest. And we're going to have a ton of hands-on speakers. These are the first 5 that we've announced so far. I definitely urge you to kind of just Google some of these folks. They are top-notch professionals, and they know what they're doing when it comes to photography. And we wanted to bring all this talent from across the U.S. into Cleveland, Ohio, in order to give you guys the best conference possible. We've also extended our lunch and learn discount to you guys for $100 off. So that cuts the price in half for this conference. So that brings it down to, I think, $99. So 3 days of conference, that's $30 a day. And it's just hands-on, intense learning. You don't want to miss this. I absolutely promise you. If you're looking for one-on-ones, maybe before the conference, maybe you're looking for, wondering how to, you got this flash, but like you need a one-on-one on how to fix it or how to, use it effectively. We're doing those virtually now. So we just jump into a Hangout or a Zoom conference room. We're using Google Hangouts, but basically we do like this. We talk via the computer and we go through step-by-step on how to do things. So we're offering those one-on-ones. And then we also, tomorrow will be our Friday focus. And then we have a whole lineup of speakers coming next week, starting with, I believe ProPhoto is leading off on Monday with a little Q&A. But keep on our Facebook page. We're going to announce that rest of that schedule. We're just doing some last fine-tuning with the changes that happened today. So we have a full load of content for you coming up. So I just want to let you guys know, remind you, practice makes perfect. So let's say you do, you are in quarantine right now and you have family members. Now's the time to bust out that flash and practice, bouncing off the wall, trying all these different things. But if you need absolutely anything from us, you can reach out, sales at the Pixel Connection or social at the Pixel Connection. Jump on our Instagram, our Facebook page, or just give us a call. Like I said, we're there from 1 to 5 every day, but Sunday. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And thanks again, Jeff. I appreciate you guys taking the time to help us out. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And if I may also, without stepping on any toes, I also offer one-on-one virtual sessions right now. I do a lot of one-on-one classes in person, but obviously with the social distancing and quarantine situation, basically it'll be a similar setup to how we had it today. It'll just be in my studio. If you have questions or anything, you can go to nextlevelworkshops.com with an S at the end. And you can sign up for that. I am running a quarantine special right now. That's $100 off. So check that out if you want. So
excellent. And I will put that across the screen here in case anybody did not get that. That was nextlevelworkshops.com. So definitely take a look at that. I've seen the behind the scenes. I haven't made it to one yet. It's definitely on my to-do list. But it looks like there's just a ton of just great content that's coming out of those workshops. So thank you for putting those together as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to everybody that's still hanging on the end, thank you so much. You guys are the reason that we do this every single day. So if there's anything you need from us, please let us know. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk soon.